Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Ramaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Vandeyam Shri Guru Varam Shri Rupanu Ruparam Vrajasrasiham Charanarayanam Tam Kapannam Shri Guru Charanam Mande Ramana Prasthaya Bhutale Rupanu Bhaktinam Char Pramurti Narayana Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sridhar Shri Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer my respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of our spiritual masters, Itlai Srimad Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev and Itlai Srimad Bhaktivedanta Shri Vam Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev, to the entire Rupanakariya Guru Varga, to all Arjins, to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and especially Shri Shiva Thakur himself, whose Tithi we are observing today. So what is the meaning of Shiv Chaturdashi? So in one way, actually this is the Tithi where Shiva Thakur appeared in the form of a linga. So he appears in very different forms. He appears as an Ambulinga, like in Bengal, here in Kashinagar, there is Ambulinga. Mahaprabhu also went there to have darshan of that place, the Ambulinga. And then there is the Ambulinga also, I think it is in Bhubaneswar also. You see, Lokanath Mahadev, he's actually made of water there actually. You see the linga, it's made of water. And you see, one part of the linga is black, and one part of the linga is like golden. So that's actually Harihar actually, Harihar Ekatma. Just as we see in Harihara Kshetra, Lord Shiva and Vishnu, both the deities are like together, and there are three different lines separating them. So those three lines are actually the Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. Similarly, this Ambulinga is also present in Bhubaneswar. And you can see it's two lingas together as one. So then there's the Jyotirlinga, and then there's the Prastarmayi Linga, which is the linga made of like the elements of this world, such as stone. And there's even the Akash Linga. Like if you go in Amarnath, in India, so many go on pilgrimage to Amarnath. There they worship this linga, and actually they see the linga in the sky, it is said. But then some representation is in the form of like a block of ice in Amarnath. So in this way we see that Lord Shiva, he appeared in the form of a linga on this tithi. And during Srila Gurudev's last tour in 2010, like on this exact tithi on Shivaratri, February 12, 2010, there's a very nice photo tour report. The devotees, they made a report of Gurudev's visit to a local temple of Lord Shiva in Mauritius. So they've put many nice pictures of Srila Gurudev there also. He's bathing the linga with coconut water, with milk, and Gurudev is doing parikrama of the linga there. And even offer pranams to Nandi. So then the devotees asked Gurudev that, why did you offer pranams to Nandi, who is the bull carrier of Lord Shiva? So then Gurudev said, Nandi is a very dear associate of Lord Shiva. So I prayed to him that this Prabhu can bless us. Bless us with what? Bless us with gopi prem. And then he mentioned this shloka. Vrindavana Anipate, Jai Swami Swami Bhole, Sanata 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 Naradeva, Obishra Rajavilasi Nani Prem Prensha Nirvadi Namo Namaste. So here, we see that when this question was raised also, once during Rajmandal Parikrama, 1979, Pujya Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Maharaj, he raised this question also. Can Lord Shiva give this prayer? And then Gurudev, we go to this verse. And one more verse from Sri Raghunath Das Goswami's Brajavilas Taum. And this way he said, Lord Shiva always speak of Gopi Prem. He can also give us that servitude of Srimati Radhika herself. This is Radha Nasyam also. So this way Gurudev, he offered pranams to Nandi and Shivlinga there, performed Abhishek. And then he spoke like two short stories from the Shiv Puran. So Gurudev said there was once one hunter, he was in the forest. He was offering some bay leaves. Some demon actually, not even a hunter, some demon was offering bay leaves to the Shivlinga. So then, no matter how many leaves he offered, Lord Shiva, he did not appear. So then he took one unripe pale fruit and he threw it at the linga, out of frustration. And then immediately Lord Shiva appeared to him. And he said, others offer me leaves, but you offer the entire fruit to me. So therefore I bless you, he said. And then he explained another story from the Shiv Puran. where he said that there was a hunter. What would he do? He would climb up a tree and then he would hide behind the foliage, behind all these dense cluster of leaves, he'd hide behind. And then whenever any deer or any animal would come to drink water from the pond, he would take aim and shoot it at that animal, and the animal would die immediately. So as this hunter, that night happened to be Shivratri. So we know that Lord Shiva is worshipped during the 4 hours of the day, the 4 segments of the day, and the 4 segments of the night. Especially from 6 to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 3, 3 to 6. This is like most auspicious during Shivratri. So then the hunter, he had a pot also to drink water from. So then that day happened to be Shivratri, and then when he came to a pond, he saw a tree and he climbed up that tree, which happened to be a bale tree. And then there was a linga beneath that bale tree. So then as he climbed up, during the first prahar of the night, the first segment, 6 to 9, then accidentally some leaves from the tree fell on the linga. And some water from the pot also fell on the linga. So that way he performed Abhishek of Lord Shiva first time. And then one deer came there. And then the hunter took him. And then as he was about to kill the deer said, "Oh, don't kill me. I have a little baby. Just let me give some milk one last time and then you can kill me." Then the hunter said, "You're lying. What if you don't return?" Then she said, "If I don't return, all the sin of this world will be upon me. So kindly don't do this." So then the deer went away. Then the husband of the deer, the stag, came looking for his wife. So then the second prayer of the day had already begun. The second prayer of the night. 9 to 12. So again the hunter, anyhow he climbed up the tree and again the same thing happened. Some leaves fell, some water fell from his pot on the linga. So then this way, the hunter took him and then the stag said, "I was looking for my wife and everyone." Then he said, "Oh, your wife promised to come here, the deer, so bring her back here." So then the third prayer, what happened was, the sister of the deer, she said that, "Oh, I don't have any children. All of you have children, you have family, I don't have anyone, so I'll go instead of all of you." So then when she went, the same thing the hunter did again, the third prayer of the night. So then he said, "I was not looking for you. I was looking for your sister. So bring her here, I don't want to kill you," he said. So then the fourth prayer of the night, everyone came, the entire family came. And then the hunter, the same thing happened again. And then what happened? Lord Shiva himself appeared from the linga. And he said, "Oh, this way you did my Abhishek 4 times. So I'm so happy. Ask for any boon you desire." And actually he freed the hunter from his very bad mentality. So this way there are many stories from the Shiv Puran. It shows how Lord Shiva is very easily pleased. Therefore he's called Ashutosh. And therefore we see now in Vrindavan also, you can see all over the Parikrama marg, so many people, thousands of people are there. Keshigan, everywhere, trying to bathe Gopishwar Mahadev. In Mathura you can see there's Bhuteshwar, Rangeshwar, Tripaleshwar, Gokarneshwar. Everywhere in Gokul, there is Chintaharan Mahadev, and there's Nandishwar Mahadev in Nandagaon, there's Brajeshwar Mahadev in Barsana, Ashrishwar Mahadev near Tenkaram, Kameshwar Mahadev in Kamdevan. Now, in this way, everywhere he's present and people are trying to please him. But what are they trying to seek from him? What benediction are they trying to What is the benediction that they seek from him? Which kind of benediction? So then, we see, to know who Lord Shiva is in Tattva and what we should desire from him, we should take shelter of our Guru Varga. And then we see, Gurudev is explaining the Tattva of Lord Shiva. He's saying how you should see Lord Shiva from 3 perspectives. Aishwaryagat Vichar, Tattvagat Vichar, and Madhuryagat Vichar. So what is Aishwaryagat Vichar? That is from the perspective of, what is Tattvagat Vichar? Tattvagat Vichar is from the perspective of the established philosophical truth regarding the existence of Lord Shiva. Who is he? From this Tattvagat Vichar. So we hear that Krishna, he manifests as Mahasankarshan for the act of creation. And then Mahasankarshan becomes Mahavishnu. So then, it is said that Mahavishnu desires to create. And what happens? This desire to create takes the form of a light that emanates between his eyebrows. And this ray of light, what happens? This ray of light, the semblance of this ray of light that emanates between his eyebrows is called Shambhulinga actually. The semblance, not even the light itself. And then this ray of light is impregnated within Yoni, who herself is a semblance of Ramadevi, potency of Sri Narayan. And in this way, this calm beach, the seed of desire is impregnated within Yoni. And then the Shambhulinga, which is the semblance of the light emanating from Lord Shiva's eyebrows, is actually a symbol of the male regenerative capacity. The male reproductive organ is actually the symbol of that. So in this way, creation takes place. But actually, if you consider the perspective of creation, you should consider from two viewpoints. One is the ingredient cause and the efficient cause. So what is the ingredient cause? The Upadan Karan is the efficient. So ingredient cause is Vishnu himself. Because if Vishnu was not there, if he did not have that desire, how would creation in and itself take place in the first place? Even if there was the union between the Shivlinga, that is Lord Shiva and the Yoni, but still without the desire of Vishnu, how would creation take place? So therefore, Vishnu is the instrumental cause. And the Yoni, that is the semblance of Ramadevi herself, she is also an instrumental cause, but she is secondary. And Lord Shiva is the efficient cause, the Upadan Karan. The Nimit Karan is Vishnu. So an example is given that if a person takes a stick to kill a snake, then who is the instrumental cause and who is the efficient cause? The efficient cause is the stick itself, which is used to kill the snake. And the instrumental cause is that person who is holding the stick in his hand. Similarly, if there's a potter, a kumbhakar, if there's a potter, he's making pots, earthen pots, then we see that the material used to make the earthen pot, that is the clay, the water, the fire, and all these things, they are the efficient cause. But who is the instrumental cause? The potter himself. Because the potter was not there, how would even the pots have been, how could they have been even made in the first place? So therefore here, Mahavishnu is the instrumental cause, and Lord Shiva is like the efficient cause in one way. So here we see actually Lord Shiva, he has his eternal position there actually, as Sadashiv, right? Below Vaikuntha Loka, he is present in Sadashiv Lok there. So when he appears as a linga, that is his manifestation for the act of creation. But in his form as Vishnu Tattva is always present there, in right below Paravyom. So in this way, Aishwaryagat Vichar, we say that Lord Shiva, he engages in this act of creation from Tattvagat Vichar. And then we see also that he came from the eyebrows of, came from the anger of Lord Brahma. Because Lord Brahma, he was very angry with his sons, the four Kumaras and Narada Rishi, that they did not listen to him and engage in the act of creation, creating progeny. So therefore, he became so angry and Rudra manifested from there. So therefore, when we say that it is an offense to the holy name to consider Lord Shiva to be equal to Krishna, we are actually speaking from the perspective of this Rudra avatar. When we speak of this Rudra, then we actually saying that's an offense to the holy name. But if you're saying Sadashiv, he is actually Vishnu himself. He is Vishnu Tattva. So in that way it's not an offense, but it is an offense to consider Rudra. And sometimes Vishnu himself appears as Vishnu when he cannot find a Jiva to perform the act of this destruction, and he himself appears as Rudra. So in that case also, he can be understood as being non-different from Vishnu himself. So in this way, there is Tattvagat Vichar and there is Aishwaryagat Vichar. So in Aishwaryagat Vichar, we see that Vishnu himself, he came to protect Lord Shiva so many times. Like we see there was that one demon who prayed so much to Lord Shiva, and then what benediction did he receive? This Vrikasur, that anyone's head he would keep his hand on, that person would burn to ashes. And the first person he wanted to keep his hand on was on the head of Lord Shiva. Why? Because he saw how beautiful Parvati was. And Lord Shiva, he went to everyone, but none could help him. Then he went to Shvetadvi, where Vishnu himself appeared as a brahmachari, and what did he do? He fooled Vrikasur. He had him place his hand on his own head. And then so he was burned to ashes. Then once what happened was, the demons, they went to Mai Danava. So Mai Danava was a very... he was like a very clever magician for the demons. So then they told him that make something for us by which we can defeat the demigods. So then Mayadano, what did he do? He created 3 aeroplanes, like aeroplane-like residences. And then he gave them to the demons, called Tripur. And then this way he said, use these 3 aeroplanes to defeat the demigods. And then this way the demons, they started defeating all the demigods. Then the demigods went to Lord Shiva, saying, please help us. Then Lord Shiva, what did he do? He released his trident, his trishul, and from his trishul 3 arrows came. And then 3 arrows, they destroyed these 3 aeroplanes, and all the demons were killed. But then Maidana, what did he do? He put all these demons inside the well. Where all these demons, there was nectar inside this well. So then when they drank the nectar, they were regenerated again. This way they were brought back to life again. So in this way, again the demigods are thinking what to do. So then Lord Shiva, he appealed to Vishnu, please help me. Then Vishnu appeared in the form of a cow, and Lord Brahma appeared in the form of a calf, and both of them entered the well. And Vishnu, he drank all that nectar away. The calf drank all the nectar away. And in this way, the demons had nothing to survive on, they were all killed. So in this way, we see from the pastime of this Aishwarya, Krishna is always rescuing Lord Shiva. And sometimes we see that even when Krishna's grandson, Anirudh, and when he was with Usha, the daughter of Banasur became so angry, he imprisoned him. And then Krishna himself appeared and fought with him and cut all his arms off and left only 4. And then Lord Shiva, he appeared also and fought on the side of Banasur. And he released his Shiv Jwar, Krishna released his Narayan Jwar, and then anyhow Lord Shiva, he fell asleep. And then Parvati, she appeared naked in front of Krishna, and then Krishna looked away. So then anyhow, Banasur was forgiven because of Lord Shiva. And then we see also that Paundrak Vasudev, he was called Shrigal Vasudev. He was like a jackal. He had 2 mechanical arms attached to his body. Because in that way he would resemble Krishna himself. Because Krishna in Dwaraka, he sometimes appears as Vasudev in his 400 form. So this way Krishna wanted to punish this Paundrak Vasudev, because Paundrak Vasudev was actually saying that Krishna is an imposter and not me. So then Krishna, what did he do? He took his Sudarshan Chakra and cut his head off. So then in Paundrak Vasudev, he had a friend, Kashiraj. So then Kashiraj, he fought on the side of Paundrak Vasudev. So then Krishna with his arrows, he has his bow and arrow. So then this way he killed this Kashiraj. And then Kashiraj had a son named Sudakshina. So Sudakshina was very angry that his father was killed. So he performed a big yajna, and then a fire demon came and then attacked Dwaraka. So then Krishna, anyhow, the Sudarshan Chakra, he killed all the associates of this fire demon. And then this demon had to run back to Kashi. And said, now what can I do now? Now since I haven't fulfilled my mission, I have to burn this entire city down. So this way, the entire city of Kashi was burned to ashes. And then Lord Shiva, where did he go? He took shelter in Navadvip. And then he went to Ekamra Kanan. Where is that? In Bhubaneswar. There he took shelter there. And there's another nice history there in Bhubaneswar. There we see actually that there, when Parvati came there, she saw that this place was so enchanting, this Bhubaneswar, full of cows, trees, forests. So then she became absorbed in the mood of a Kvalini, cowherd woman. So then, seeing her beauty, 2 brothers, Kriti and Mas, they became so attracted. So then immediately they wanted to anyhow enjoy her. But then she said, she looked at Lord Shiva and she said, please protect me. He said, I cannot. These 2 demons, they're too powerful even for me. So then Parvati said, okay, anyone who carries me on their shoulders, that person can marry me. So then they tried lifting her, but none could carry her. And finally both of them lifted her. And then what happened? She became Bhuvaneshwari. Means the entire weight of all the 14 planetary systems was put upon their shoulders. And they collapsed. And they died. So then Parvati, because she had exerted herself in such a way, pushing down all her weight on them, she became a little tired. So she told Lord Shiva, please give me some water to drink. So then there is Bindu Sarovar in Bhubaneswar. So then what did Lord Shiva do? He invited all the tirthas from all over India and he said, please give 1 drop. One drop each. So every tirtha came and gave 1 drop each. Therefore the place is called Bindu Sarovar. But Gurudev raised the point, all the pilgrimage places came there. But did Brajadam come there? Or did Navadvip Dham come there? He said no. They never come there. Why? Because Brajadam is actually the heart of Krishna. Navadvip Dham is the heart of Mahaprabhu. So how can these places come there? They can never come there. So in this way we see that from this perspective, from Aishwarya Vichar, we see that Krishna himself is the worshipful deity of Lord Shiva. And from Madhurya Vichar, you see, beginning from the childhood of Krishna, we see how Lord Shiva played such a sweet role there. Once Lord Shiva wanted to have darshan of Krishna when he was a small boy. And Yashoda Maya said, no, my baby, if he sees you, he'll become very scared because you have these bones around you, these ashes, and you have these snakes around you. Why does Lord Shiva have these snakes around him, especially the snakes around his ear? Because these snakes are actually hissing the name of Ram inside his ear. These snakes are actually always saying Ram Nam. Therefore, he has these snakes around his head and everything. So this way, we see that Lord Shiva, when he came there, anyhow, he was given darshan of Krishna. And then Lord Shiva told Yashoda that if you have any anxiety, just think of me and I will be there. Therefore, he is present as Chittaharan Mahadev there in Gokul. And we see there also even the gopis, even they worship Krishna. In near Parsana, there is Sunera Kadamba Kandi. They worship Lord Shiva there. And then Srimati Radhika even gave her a golden necklace to him. And then he blessed all the gopis. Krishna will always be controlled by your love and affection. So this way we see that even when Krishna was in Dwaraka, actually, it is said that once he didn't have a son from Jambavati. So he went to the Himalayas and he prayed to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva blessed him with a son, Sambhav. So this way we see that way he's playing in this Madhurigat Vichar, he's actually enhancing this rasa of Krishna Leela there. And we see also in Ram Leela also. Once Ramchandra, he wanted to cross the ocean by building a bridge. But he couldn't do so on his own. So he prayed to Lord Shiva, and then anyhow Lord Shiva appeared in the form of Linga. He worshipped him, and then everyone started saying Rameshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. But then demigod said, oh, don't say that he is the Ishwar of Ram. Rather they're equal. But then immediately the Lord Shiva broke out of the Linga and he said, what are you saying? Saying actually he's my Prabhu. Therefore I'm called Rameshwar. So this way we see that there's a nice story in Rameshwaram. There's a Linga made by Sita Devi herself. Once Ram, he told Hanuman to bring one Linga from Kashi. But the Muhurta, the time was passing away. So Sita, she made a Linga from sand. And when Hanuman came there, he became very sad because he had also bought a Linga there. So then Ram said, alright, if you can remove this Linga, then we'll place your Linga. So then Hanuman, he tied his tail around this Linga made of sand. And he tried removing it with all his power, all his might, strength, but he could not even make it budge an inch. And finally he was humbled, Hanuman. So then Ram said, don't worry. First, anyone who comes here to Rameshwaram, first they will have darshan of the Linga you have bought from Kashi, and then only they can have the darshan of the Linga which is worshipped by Sita and me. And so we see also now that Sati Devi, she doubted who Ram was. She assumed the form of Sita. And then because of this, Lord Shiva renounced her association forever. And then she had to appear as Parvati. Therefore we see that anything which has been used by our Guru Varga, we should never use for our own enjoyment. And Lord Shiva is himself showing by his own example. So this way we see that Lord Shiva, what he cannot give as Rangeshwar, Bhuteshwar, Gogameshwar, Tripureshwar, what he cannot give even as Nandishwar, as Ashlishwar, as Chintaharan Mahadev, he can give as Gopishwar Mahadev. Because who is Gopishwar Mahadev? In one way we hear that, he appeared and then he took a bath in Brahmakund and then he appeared in the form of a gopi. And then the gopis asked him, who's your husband, which village are you from? And they slapped him. And then anyhow he was given this seva of doing the Rajya of the Ras Leela. Still actually, if you see the Gopishwar Mahadev temple is right near Vamsivat. So what is the meaning there, the significance? Meaning is that Srimati Radhika appeared from Krishna's left side when the Ras Leela began, and Gopishwar Mahadev, he appeared from his right side. And this way, he is also present there in the Ras Leela, making sure that no Annadhikari, no unqualified person can enter there. Therefore, if anyone wants to really enter Vrindavan, then he has to always seek the blessings of Gopishwar Mahadev, who is the Kshetrapal. And you see Navadip Dham also, he's present as Vriddhaship there. No, anyone who wants to go to Navadip should have the permission of Vriddhaship. And we see in Mahaprabhu's birthplace, right there, he's also present. Right behind Mahaprabhu's this Janmasthan, he's also present there. His Linga is also present there. And we see who inspired Bhaktivinoda Thakur to manifest the birthplace of Mahaprabhu. It was Lord Shiva himself. Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually wanted to do bhajan in Vrindavan. He wanted to leave Navdi. But then Tarakeshwar Mahadev appeared to him in a dream and said, what are you doing? Who will manifest the glories of Mahaprabhu's abode? Go back there. And then by the inspiration of Tarakeshwar Mahadev, Bhaktivinoda Thakur manifested this birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, we see that our entire Guru Varga, they're all such great devotees, followers of Lord Shiva. Why? Because if we want to know who Vishaya Vastu is, we should take shelter of the Ashraya Vastu. And who is the crown jewel of all these abodes of devotion? The Lord Shiva himself. See, Gurudev's parents, they worship Lord Shiva during this Chaturdashi. And then they were blessed. Taking this Narvatli of Gurudev, that they had him as their son. You see, when Bhakti Shrila Siddhamti Maharaj, his name before was Shiv Shankar. And actually before, he was actually always preaching against the worship of Lord Shiva. So during the last pastimes of his life, he was very regretful in his heart, saying, I did this. So therefore, in his temples, he established the linga of Lord Shiva everywhere. And even bhogas offered there also to Lord Shiva. So therefore, we see in Bhuvaneshwar to this day, the prasad of Ananta Vasudev is given there to Lokanath Mahadev, and Lingaraj Mahadev, and then these Brahmin settlement. So on this very auspicious tithi, we can only pray that Lord Shiva, in his form as the greatest of devotees, especially in his form as Gopishwar Mahadev, he can bless us with this Brajaprem, with this service, Srimati Radhika's Lotus feet, and also make us unpointed followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chadha Krishna Karunya.
Jnananjana Chakshurundalitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhudeva Cha Patita Nam Pavanidyo Vaishnavibhyo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my Sastangandavat pranams and the devotees feet of our most worshipful Srimad Gurudev, Nityalila Pradishta Om Vishwapad, Shishna Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Giri Maharaj, Swarupan Guru Varga, and all assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So today we're observing this Shiva Chaturdashi. This Chaturdashi meaning the 14th moon. This is just the day before Amavasya. Before Purnima and Amavasya, that's Chaturdashi. But that Chaturdashi before Amavasya, like every Chaturdashi before Amavasya, it's actually being considered a Shiv Ratri. But especially in the month of, like in our calendar, the month of Falgun, that same month Mahaprabhu appeared on a full moon. That new moon, the day before the new moon of that Chaturdashi, that is Mahashivaratri. And we know this is a very famous festival, everyone observing, so many followers of Shiva now, they're doing all their parties today. Tonight they will all do their parties. And so you can be worshipping Lord Shiva, but unless you know who he really is, then you will only be committing aparat actually. And the same way also, you can also be chanting Nam. If you also don't know Shiva properly, then your chanting also can be considered a Nam aparat. Because we know second Nam aparat is having to think that Lord Shiva is separate. He is different from Krishna. So this is also very confusing. Like one is, if you think that he is separate, or you think that he is equal, like both ways, it's like an offense. So therefore, very important to understand Shiva Tattva. And this is actually, there's a whole discussion on this on Madhurya Kadambini, Srila Gurudev discussing. So today on like celebration like this, Shiva Ratri, then this is an opportunity that the Vaishnavas, they're able to discuss this tattva and people can understand, can appreciate fully. And then when they're worshipping Shiva, then really that is the proper worship. It will be accepted. Shiva himself, like on this day, this Maha Shivaratri day, this time, it is said that it is not different from him. Our Sanatana Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas, he recommends. Sometimes Vaishnavas, and this is the thing, unless you cannot understand or you don't fully understand who is Lord Shiva, then you will hear all these different statements like, oh, Krishna is Ishvara, Vishnu is Ishvara, Shiva is not Ishvara. I don't even need to have darshan of Shiva, like no need to worship like this. On the other hand, some people will say only Shiva is Ishvara, Vishnu is not Ishvara, like this. So it is said that if you have proper association with actual sadhus who understand, and really you can understand Shiva Tattva, then this offense, especially the second Namaparad, will not be committed. So, like today is the day of worship of Lord Shiva. Some Vaishnavas may not think like no need to follow, but our Srila Gurudev, following the instruction also of Sanatana Goswami himself in Hari Bhakti Vilas, is telling that this Shiva Chaturdasi, like Vaishnavas should follow, and he's quoting many verses there, telling that on this very day, Shiva actually promised that he will like all the Shiva lingas in the world, he will be there. He will personally be there to accept offering. So, but then that's the thing, like how to offer, like how to see who he is. So unless you don't know who he is, then you cannot properly worship. And so therefore this discussion is very important. So we just heard, by mercy of our Srila Gurudev, and really who but our Guru Varga in this line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can properly explain. So, like in Madhura Kulambini, our Krishna Karunya, he was telling that when we talk about living beings or conscious beings, there are two kinds. There's the Ishvara and the Jiva, the independent and the dependent. We know we are in the category of the dependent, like the Jivas. Of course, we know there's two kinds of Jivas. There's the Mukta and there's the Baddha. One is ignorance and one is free from ignorance. Now, when it comes to Ishvara, we're talking about the independent, the controller, the master. So there's also two kinds. One who is completely free from touch of Maya, from activities of Maya. And one is by Leela, and it is by his desire. He takes into that role that he is performing pastimes. He's accepting like Maya. But this is by his Leela, by his desire. So the first example you can see like Narayan. He's always in Vaikuntha, or like all the different manifestations of Krishna. They all have nothing to do with the material world. But when we talk about the second type of Ishvara, that is the category of Lord Shiva. That he's performing this particular lila. That now he engages in a material activity. He is like, actually as Guna Avatar, he is performing activities in the mode of ignorance. What is that? Oh, destruction. So, when we talk about Lord Shiva, mostly some ideas only is that, oh, he's a demigod. Oh, the Guna Avatar. But then we're also told that actually this Guna Avatar is coming from Sadashiv. And Sadashiv is completely in that category of the first Ishvara, like Narayan. He lives in Sadashiv Lok, which is actually beyond the Viraja river. That means not outside the material world. It's like the Vaikuntha planet also. But he is the source of this Guna avatar. That Shiva that we hear all these pastimes. The one that lives in Kailash. So when we talk of Shiva Tattva, then we consider this both. So when we think of Lord Shiva, when we say, when someone thinks that Shiva is equal to Krishna, is equal to Bhagavan, how would that become an offense? And that is, if you think that form of Lord Shiva, who is a Guna avatar, who is actually like a partial manifestation, or more than that, sometimes even the Guna avatar is not directly like a manifestation of Shiva. It can be just a Jiva also, taking that post for some reason. So then, if you think that posted Jiva is equal to Krishna, then this is completely a wrong conception. And this way, you will not be pleasing. So, but another aspect is to think that they are equal. Meaning, you think that they are both Ishvara. There is Krishna and there is Shiva. They're both like independent, and they're like against each other. And you side with one, and you side with, and you don't like the other. So, as if Shiva is independent from Krishna. So that's why we say, no, they are one. Harihara, they're one. So, in this way, if you think that they're separate, then the offense can be committed. So, when we say this Sadashiv is the source of all the Shivas manifested in this material world. So this Shiva in this material world, he's already considered like a transformation. So then in Brahma Samhita, then we can hear description or like an analogy, like there is, like Shiva is like the yogurt. From milk is transformed to yogurt. When milk is mixed with some transforming agents, then he is not different from milk, but also different. He's now, he has his own special quality. So, Shiva Tattva is like that. And really, Shiva Tattva means he's like the link to all. Because when we talk about, let's say, Narayan, Krishna, or like all that Ishvara in the original category where they are completely purna, no touch, has no contact with material world. Shiva has this quality that he is in touch with Maya. So he is engaged in material quality like destruction. So he is in the material world and performing a particular lila that is engaged in material activity. So there's that aspect of Maya in him. And another one is that he seems like the ordinary jiva. They are like minute. There's an aspect of the tatashta jiva's quality in him. The minuteness is also in him. Because then you can see that sometimes, not every time he is perfect. He makes mistakes. And we know these are all lila. But then there is that aspect of his connection to Chit Shakti, to the Chit world. So that's why he said that there's also that portion of mixture of Sambit and Nadini within him. So that means he has that aspect of the Shuddha Sattva, the eternal existence. And so these three things, these are like a transforming agent. And now he is a special tattva. But that is, we consider, that is referring to that Shiva, the Guna Avatar Shiva, the Shiva that's in Kailash, the Shiva in charge of actually Sometimes we think, oh, that Shiva is only a demigod. But no, he's not a Jiva. He's not like Lord Brahma. Brahma is a Jiva. Brahma, we can see he has a lifespan. And it is also, it's like a post. Any Jiva, very, very pious, they can become a Brahma. And he has a specific lifespan also. There's a time of creation, then there's annihilation, partial annihilation, and the night of Brahma. But then there's a complete annihilation when the life of Brahma ends. But who continues to live? Shiva. Because the whole creation actually started from him. And that has been described already. Like, first, there's a desire for Bhagavan for creation. The desire for engagement in or having this particular section of the material world. So for that, where does this desire come from? That is from Mahavishnu. But Mahavishnu does not directly have to perform like all this activity. He's desiring. So then the desire takes the shape of Lord Shiva. So now he is being symbolized as the linga. So that desire also is carried by the Shakti. Because Shakti is the dharma of Shaktiman. Whatever the desire of the Shaktiman is fulfilled by the Shakti. So now the desire of Mahavishnu is there. The Shakti of Mahavishnu, Ramadevi or Lakshmi. Now she also then transformed into Maya Shakti. But then this aspect of meaning the desire of Mahavishnu taking shape as Lord Shiva, then provides the creation within this Maya Shakti. That's why it's considered the ingredient cause. So, by union of this Shambhuling and this Maya, the Yoni, then there's manifestation of creation. So the Brahma is just a secondary creator. But Shiva, he's the source of everything. The source of this Mahatattva. It all begins, we know the Jiva is covered by material body. The very source of this manifestation of body, subtle body first, that is the Mahatattva. It starts with the false ego. That is coming from Lord Shiva. And then it progresses more until the gross. So everything coming, everything coming in the material world coming from Lord Shiva. So this is how he is functioning. And therefore at the end, he also destroys. And so he's in charge of the destruction. So this is his role in this world. But then we have to look more than that. He is considered like the Kshatrapal, the protector. He is, by him, then some shelter for those in the mode of ignorance. Because he's in charge of the mode of ignorance. They can take shelter of him, and gradually, by his mercy, they also can be elevated. But we know, although when we say Sadashiv, none different from Vishnu, that is the Sadashiv in the Sadashiv lok, like Narayan and Vaikuntha. But we heard, and we appreciating now from Srila Gurudev, that this is not the highest post, the highest conception of Sadashiv. What is the highest conception of Sadashiv? Because like for Krishna, Narayan is not the highest tattva. The original Krishna is there in Goloka Vrindavan. This is the central, the central point of the existence of the spiritual existence. No, this is the center. So Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the original. So who is there? Sadashiv is there, and we know by mercy of our Guru Baba, then that is Gopishwar Mahadev. Now we hear pastimes of this Gunavatar Shiv, this Shambhu now becoming Gopishwar. But this is only to show to us the connection that he is coming from there, that his original is that Shiva in Goloka Vrindavan. And why is that? Because Shiva is there. Who is he there? He is a deity. He's there like a deity that all the gopis, they would go pray every day so that they would meet, the desire to serve Radha and Krishna would be fulfilled. So he's there, he's Gopeshwar. And he is there considered like the deity guarding the Rasa Leela of Vrindavan. So here in the Prakat Leela of Krishna, then we see this pastime to show us some context. That the highest conception of Mahadev is this. And they saw this like very funny pastime. And it's like, very sweet pastime. That Shiva himself, he wanted to enter into this Rasa Leela. Although he's there eternally, but in this pastime, he's like that. It's a negative pastime. Just to show that, he wanted to enter into the pastime. But by mercy of Yoga Maya, and then he got a gopi like body. But then, because having a body is not enough. Everything should be there. The full swarup, the whole personality should be there also. So he may have now a gopi body, but he doesn't know her real identity. Who is her husband? Like what is his duty? His like services, like everything. Doesn't even have like a female voice. So then the gopis started chastising, like beating, like, this is intruder, like this. But then taking shelter of Yoga Maya, then everyone was pacified. We know the story. And from there it was established that, he's given the post that he will be guarding. No one can enter into this place without the mercy of Gopeshwar, Mahadev. So therefore, if we want to enter into Vrindavan, we want to enter into this pastime of rasa, meaning serving into these pastimes of rasa between Radha and Krishna. We cannot enter, of course, we cannot enter into Vrindavan without mercy of Vrinda Devi. But without mercy of Gopeshwar Mahadev, you cannot enter into service into this Madhurya Rasa, in this Rasa Leela of Shri Radha and Krishna. So this is his highest glory of Lord Shiva. And therefore, especially on this day, then we can pray to Lord Shiva, just as our Krishna Thakur prayed. Vrindavana Vanapate Jaya Soma Somamuli Sanaka Sandan Sanatan Nara Vidya Gopeshwara Braja Vilasi Yugam Nipamne Prema Prayacha. When you say Prayacha, please give. He said Prema Prayacha, please give this prem. Nirupati Namo Namaste. Again and again I pray, I offer obeisances to you. So, like this, here we're showing that Lord Shiva can give prem. But that Lord Shiva in his original identity as Gopeshwar Mahadev. So that Sadashiv also has come in this world as Advaita Acharya. And he has brought the distributor of this Braja Prem. Krishna himself in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So by bringing Mahaprabhu here, then now the whole world is now being flooded by this Braja Prem. So that is Advaita Acharya. So today on this auspicious day of Shivratri, then we pray, we glorify Lord Shiva, worshipping him as in this conception. Knowing all these things, but especially understanding how to relate with him in regards to our actual goal. Our actual goal to enter into Vrindavan serve Shri Radha and Krishna. We are Neksara no Shrimati Radharani. She can bless with this. Vaksha, Vaksha,